Hello everyone, Charles Walhingford back again with another top 10 list, and this is my top 10 whiskeys of 2017. Now, first off, a little disclaimer: no one looks up distilled aged spirits on YouTube. But all right, enough with the intro. Let's go ahead and get started. And let's start with number 10. Number 10. All right, this is number 10. This is Weller, or WL Weller. In the past, it was labeled WL Weller. Now it's simply called Weller. This is a Kentucky straight bourbon. This is a wheated Kentucky straight bourbon. You'll find these don't have the rye. I don't want to call it harshness, but that rye really gives it a little bit of a bite. And this is much smoother. This is also the least expensive distilled aged spirit on here. This is well under $25 most places. And it's spectacular. Not even spectacular for how much it costs, but it is absolutely a fine distilled aged spirit. Number 9. Let's go with number 9. This is Clyde Maize. Now, Clyde Maize, this is another bourbon. This is not a Kentucky straight bourbon because it wasn't made in Kentucky. This is actually made in Alabama. I sing this numerous times in my local super liquor store, not just liquor store, but super liquor store. And I saw the display and I was like, it seems like you guys are trying too hard. You're trying to throw something down my throat, put it in my face, and trick me into liking it. So I walked past many times, and then finally I saw it in a local liquor store, and I said, okay, I'll give you a chance, Clyde. I'll give you a chance. Clyde, you're pretty damn good. I know I'm not talking about the flavors of, and I won't be talking too much about the flavors of these distilled aged spirits because this video will just be so long. But this is a basic bourbon where you have the corn, the wheat, the rye, and so on and so forth. Me personally, I don't really care for the rye bite as much. Some people love it. I don't care for it as much, and I believe this has a little bit less rye than usual, maybe. It just seems like it's a little bit more smooth and not so much bite to it. Number 8. All right, here we are, Flor de Cana 18. This is our first Anjeo rum, or aged rum. Flor de Cana is something that I really wanted to be great. I have another story you'll hear about something else, another distilled aged spirit, but I wanted this to be great. I wanted this to be awesome. And it is, but where I'm getting at, I've had the 12, this is the 18, I have the 12, the 15, not till the 18 right here did I enjoy them. They were extreme disappointments until I had the 18. So if you're out there, you may like the 12, you might like the 15. The 18 is where it's at. I'm sorry, I cannot tell you that the 12 and the 15 are good. They're not for me, absolutely not for me. But the 18 is very nice, very, very nice. With the alcohol by volume at 40, it's pretty damn smooth too. Well, that happens with aging and being 18 years. Number 7. This is 1931 of the St. Lucia Distilleries. 1931 I heard nothing about. This was an absolute flyer. Took a guess? I guessed right. This was some of the best aged rum I've ever had. At least for this year. I have some really nice aged rum behind me, but this year this was spectacular. And this has a much higher alcohol by volume you'll find with rums that are available. Not extremely high at 43%, but usually they stay right at 40, no 43%, and you kind of feel it. You'll definitely enjoy this one. What drew me to this was just the look of this bottle and the nice huge wood stopper there. That's what drew me in. I'm sorry, it wasn't anything else. It just had a cool bottle. This is still yet a fine distilled aged spirit. A nice, even though at 43, a nice smooth rum. They don't have an age statement on this. I wish they did, but you still get a fine aged rum or añejo rum. Number 6, Old Forester 1870 original batch. Now, they have so many different variations. This is the only one I had the opportunity to try, and I was pleasantly surprised. I heard people talk about Old Forester before. I said, I gotta get some Old Forester, see what everybody's talking about. And everything, it lived up to all the hype. Unlike, as you can tell a little bit better if I turn it around, turn it to the side, unlike a lot of the bottles you've seen here, and when you learn about me, I'm not a big drinker. I just like to have a taste once in a while. I haven't been tipsy or drunk in quite a long time. I probably have a resistance now drinking all these, but I try not to drink too much. For this one, the reason why I purchased this fairly recently. For this one, it's half gone, half empty, because I was sharing it. Sometimes you need to share. Some of these you don't want to share. This one I had to share because I wanted more people to know how good Old Forester 1870 original batch was. Spectacular, absolutely spectacular. All right, we're going into top 5. Let's go with another bourbon. Yet another bourbon. I think for me, this was the year of bourbon. I purchased a lot of bourbon. I wasn't that big into bourbon probably until a couple years ago. And then this past year of 2017, I fell in love with it. It took the place, because I have my cabinet here, it took the place of aged rum. Aged rum I love to death, but these days bourbon is where it's at, and bourbon is what I've been drinking a lot of lately and purchasing a lot lately. And this is another bourbon. Keyword bourbon, not Kentucky straight bourbon. This is regular bourbon or straight bourbon from Washington, D.C. I live minutes away from Washington, D.C., and I'm happy to see fine products such as these come from Washington, D.C. And this is Rock Creek Bourbon. This is a fine bourbon. This one, like the Clyde Maze, doesn't have that too much of that rye bite. It's rye in here, but the rye isn't overbearing. It's just the perfect balance, and I love it to death. It is it has all the flavors that you want to have from a bourbon. If you want to give somebody bourbon for the first time, this would be not a bad idea, even though it's not a Kentucky straight bourbon. Number 4, Hennessy XO. I have been fighting myself for a long time. I did not want to purchase this. I did not want to have this, I felt, over-marketed, overrated, overly saturated product such as Hennessy. Unfortunately, or fortunately, it's actually pretty damn good. I I had a guy that I watched for a long time on YouTube. His name was Cognac Maniac. He pulled his videos. If you can search him, you'll find one or two still out there. He does a fine job, and I learned a lot from him. And one of the things that he explained, or the flavors he explained, was rum raisin. I had no idea what he was talking about, and I have a pretty good palate, and it made no sense to me until I had this. Yes, that rum raisin actually came right out, and it was a pleasant surprise. And this easily could be in my top 3, but it's only number 4. Well, that's pretty damn good, isn't it? Number 3. All right, third place goes to Luze. This is Luze XO Cognac. Now, for the Hennessy, I didn't want it to be good. For this, I wanted it to be good because I heard so much about it from the experts. The experts have high praise with Luze. There's many times the experts have given this the best XO Cognac. Is this the best XO Cognac I've ever had? Yeah, it is. It's the best XO Cognac I've ever had. But I have to warn you, the Hennessy is right behind it. I wouldn't think it could be right behind it. It's right behind it. Maybe a point or half a point behind it. But the Luze is some of the best cognac I've ever had. Number 2. All right, yet another bourbon. Yes, this was the year for bourbon for me. This is Belle Meade bourbon. This is the Cognac XO finished cast. The finished cast is finished in XO Cognac cast. The thing is, I don't pick up so much cognac in there. It's just a very distinctive flavor that I can't describe. Do you know you're drinking bourbon? Absolutely. It's not like you're not having bourbon. Absolutely bourbon, but absolutely distinctive and wonderful. Number 2 easily could be number 1. I was going back and forth. I couldn't decide which one I liked the most. I like this a lot. Now, as you can tell, this is about a quarter drunk, all drunk by me. I'm not sharing this. I like this a little bit too much. I don't know if my friends are going to be able to have some of this, but it is absolutely superb. Some purists may not want to have the different cast finish, but hey guys, the Cognac XO cast makes it so nice. Let's go to number 1. All right, number 1. This is Hibiki Suntory whiskey. This is a blended Scotch, or not really Scotch. I call it Scotch. It's not Scotch. It's Japanese whiskey, but it tastes very much like Scotch. If you're a Scotch drinker, you absolutely want to have some Japanese whiskey in your cabinet. This one in particular is basically a Speyside. It's all the profile of a Speyside, but it's a little bit more delicate. If I could say, and I hate when people have these flowery made up flavors. But I really have to tell you, it pains me to say, it tastes like honeysuckle. It has hints of honeysuckle. I don't know how to explain it any better without saying that, but let me tell you, this is the man's honeysuckle, I guess. It's not Victoria's Secret scent or anything like that. This is what a man would drink if he wanted to have something light. Now, for most of us, all of these distilled aged spirits I have aren't something newbies are going to want to have. And I call this light and delicate. For most young men and women, they wouldn't be able to take this. They wouldn't be able to appreciate this. But I'm pretty sure you would. This is not my number 1. Again, this is the Hibiki Suntory whiskey. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you liked that video. I hope that may have got your juices flowing for your next purchase of distilled aged spirit or whiskey. I hope you come back and watch more of my videos. If you're interested, I do cigar pairings, and I've done a cigar pairing with pretty much every single one of those distilled aged spirits. And if I haven't done a cigar pairing with those distilled aged spirits, that's because it hasn't come out yet. Also, check out my 2016 top whiskeys. I'm Charles Walhingford, and this is how I spent my money.